So 10A and B.
I'll handle it when we get there. Just
Okay, that's fine. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the agenda session for the Bridgewater Township Council on October 6th. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey, the adequate notice of this meeting was provided on December 10th, 2024 by sending written notice and electronic notice to the Courier News and the Breeze, posting on the website and the bulletin board in the municipal building, and filing with the township clerk. Madam Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Councilman Kirsch?
Here.
Councilman Cordilla?
Here.
Councilman Pedroso? Councilman Ring?
Good evening, here.
President Nogales?
Yes. Would you stand if you are able while Councilman Kirsch leads us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have minutes for approval, minutes of September 4th, 2025, and September 18th, 2025. As everyone, regular session, has everyone had an opportunity to look them over?
Saw the 4th. Did the 18th come out?
Pardon?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve September
Got it.
4th regular session.
Second, please.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
I will abstain from September 4th.
thank you. Okay, those minutes are approved. Closed sessions have to be circulated. There's a couple of adjustments. Township Council reports. Mr. Kirsch, would you go first, please?
Sure. So I was absent on September 18th because earlier that day I had emergency retina surgery. So the good news is my recovery at this point has been successful. It just is taking time. Just to go through things, this is now for 2 meetings worth. The zoning board met on September 9th, 2 cases. There was an extension of an approval of a residential addition on Hawthorne Avenue, and then another case was carried. This is Rockland APV Bridgewater Energy LLC, an industrial battery generating facility over at 760 Main Street. I attended the 9/11 ceremony. An important event that we hold each and every year. On Sunday the 14th, 2 items. I was at Community Fund Day. That was sponsored in coordination with the Jewish Community Center, and also had the privilege of giving some brief welcome remarks for a special session over at the Bridgewater Gurdwala, the Sikh temple. There was a service where several local officials were invited. Also, gubernatorial candidate Jack Chitterelli was there. Planning board met on September 16th. They did the master plan consistency review that this body then took action on 2 days later on the 18th. On September 27th, I had the privilege of giving a brief set of welcoming remarks at the Alzheimer's Walk, held as it is each year at the Duke Island Park. Councilman Cordilla was there. Mayor Mensch joined us as well for the ribbon cutting in advance of the start of the walk. September 30th, the planning board met and had its hearing and adopted the master plan. On October 4th, this past Saturday, I attended the Mid-Autumn Lantern Festival. That was in coordination with our Chinese community. And just one other item to briefly report on. The staff continues to reach out to the Department of Transportation seeking additional information on the Prince Rogers Avenue Bridge construction project. Bridgewater had forwarded the suggestion, which came from Councilman Ring, that they consider a third option. While we certainly love the third option, which would allow traffic in both directions and a minimum of disruption, we need to hear back from the DOT whether or not that's viable. And that's my report.
Thank you. Councilman Pedroso.
I was concerned that I wasn't going to have enough time to prepare for my council statement, but thank you, Councilman Kirsch, for giving me ample time. In all seriousness, I'm glad to see you back. Wish you a continued speedy recovery for your eye. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's always nice to see so many faces in our council meeting. Sometimes we're here kind of alone. People don't show up sometimes, but so it's it's nice to see all of you tonight. Thank you for coming. Just a couple of things I want to report. I did attend the One Church Fall Festival this past weekend. They had a nice outdoor festival. The weather was beautiful this weekend, so they were certainly blessed with great weather. And I also attended two different Chinese American events. One was I was invited to the Bridgewater American Association Back to School and End of Summer Picnic. That was very nice. And also there was an event this weekend at the mall, the Mid-Autumn Lantern Festival. The community certainly has events at the mall a couple times a year. It's very well organized. If you ever get a chance if you're aware of it and get a chance to go see it, I would encourage it. They put on quite a show. Members of their schools and other people come and participate, and I think it's a wonderful event. So if you get a chance to see it and experience part of that culture, I would encourage it. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ring, please.
Thank you. Relatively brief report. One thing I wanted to comment on is I know there's both social media and I've seen myself growing use of e-bikes and scooters throughout the township. I know our police department has recently published some information on this. As a general rule, if the e-bike or scooter goes over 20 miles an hour, it does require a license and registration, and you have to be 15 years of age or older to operate it. If you're found illegally operating it, it's subject to impound. So just so folks are aware of that. And then I think it's also important to note with the growing use of e-bikes and scooters, regardless of whether it's one that requires a license or not, highly recommend you follow the manufacturer's recommendations as it relates to charging and try to stick with the manufacturer's batteries and chargers. Aftermarket devices can cause challenges such as fires, and it's always a good idea to charge it when you're home and around it so that if something happens, you can intervene. Do not recommend charging these devices while no one's home. That's my report.
Thank you. Mr. Cordella.
Hey, my report is as follows. In the past few weeks, I attended the Bridgewater Chinese American Association Back to School Day, which reminded me of an old-time church picnic, which was pretty nice. I attended the Dance for the Cure with the Bridgewater cheerleaders, the ribbon cutting and so forth. I have to give a lot of credit to the group for the money that's been raised over the years to fund the fight for breast cancer. I also attended the Walk for Alzheimer's with Councilman Kirsch at Duke Island Park. And this past weekend, on Saturday, I not only attended, but I participated in the Bridgewater Township Firemen's Inspection with the 6 fire companies that serve as volunteer firefighters for Bridgewater Township. Along with Councilman Ring's comments, I have noted here my concerns related to the use of e-bikes and so forth. So I believe about a week ago, we read about a young man in Scotch Plains, I believe, who was killed riding an e-bike in traffic. And as we all drive around the township, I think it's becoming more obvious that there's a lack of compliance with rules and regulations with these bikes going in and out of traffic and so forth. The only comment that I would ask parents is to please think about what you're doing. Having your child on an e-bike, buzzing around the town. The results on it may not be worth the purchase price of the bike. With the catastrophic injuries to your child. So that's my report.
Thank you, sir. My report is as follows. I was asked by a member of our Jewish community to share a few words about Yom Kippur in my comments. In general, some non-Jewish folks refer to Yom Kippur as a holiday. In point of fact, for the Jews, it is not a holiday, but the holiest day of the year. The day they feel closest to God is the Day of Atonement. Quoting from the biblical Old Testament book of Leviticus, "For on this day he will forgive you to purify you, that you will be cleansed from all your sins before God." During the current federal shutdown, residents are asked to be especially mindful that scammers are preying on the public, especially those who are disabled or on Social Security. Be very careful in disclosing your private information. If a deal sounds too good, it probably is. Councilman Cardilla, Mayor Mensch, and I met with Bridgewater resident Brooke Herbst and a very large contingent of the Bridgewater Raritan High School cheer team, where we helped tie a pink bow around a ginkgo tree in the courtyard, symbolizing our support for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It matters not whether the ribbon you use is yellow or pink, it is the support that counts. More to follow on that in a few minutes. Tonight, the council will consider closing out 6 major road jobs for 2025. You will hear me talk about change orders and final change orders. You will hear about some financial numbers going up, some going down. Lots of things happen during the weeks that an individual project is underway. Things are discovered that could not be foretold. Hitting Bluestone where shale was expected, a resident abutting the project is concerned for runoff, and the engineer evaluates and feels that the best solution is additional drain pipe or even an additional sewer collector. 70 years ago, residential streets did not have or require the best practices that we adhere to today. We are designing and engineering our roads for the future, and the future starts tomorrow. Mr. Pappas, did you want me to hold your report? Or did you?
Actually, may I?
Sure.
May I add one item to my report? I forgot. Sir, I did hear earlier today that North Bridge Street, which was recently dug up by the water company, is tentatively scheduled, weather permitting, for milling on Monday and Tuesday, repaving Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm sure there'll be more coming on that, but residents should be aware they can expect delays next week, weather permitting, on North Bridge Street.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pappas, should I do Dance for the Cure first?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Brooke, would you bring your entire contingent up to the front, please? Everybody who's involved in Dance for the Cure. And by the way, this is probably one of the toughest parts I have. In fact, I wonder what happened to my paperwork. Were there 3 sheets of paper here?
Was that your papers? Oh my God.
I have to have a crib sheet, I'm sorry. Folks, I use large print. And this is, in past years, those of you who have been here recognize that this is a very, very tough subject for me to talk about. It's one near and dear to my heart. I have been personally impacted by this over many years, and so I'm going to read the proclamation, and then I'm going to use Brooke as my support person. She won't have a little sign or something, but when I stumble, she'll come over and put her arm around me.
I'll keep it
And
here the whole time, okay?
I appreciate it. But this is an important month. Breast cancer awareness affects virtually every family in one way or another. Now, I'm going to read the proclamation, and then I'm going to ask Brooke to introduce you folks. Now, by the way, this is just a small contingent. When we wrapped the ribbon around, there must have been 35 or 40 people. It was a splendid celebration, and I had to put my sunglasses on for the reflection off all those pink shirts. But here is the proclamation. Proclamation recognizing Breast Cancer Awareness Month 2025. Whereas in 2025, the United States faces the sobering reality that more than 319,000 individuals will receive a diagnosis of invasive breast cancer. And whereas over 42,000 of our fellow Americans are expected to lose their lives to this disease this year, reminding us of the continued urgency of awareness, research, and early detection. And whereas there is hope in the program that we have made, as mortality from breast cancer has fallen by more than 44% since 1989, representing hundreds of thousands of lives extended and families preserved. And whereas these victories are the direct result of tireless effort in medical research, expanded access to screening and treatment, and the compassion of community organizations that walk with patients in their most difficult moments. And whereas Dance for the Cure, a fully volunteer-driven organization based here in central New Jersey, exemplifies this spirit of solidarity by providing direct financial aid and encouragement to breast cancer patients in Somerset, Hunterdon, and Middlesex County. And whereas through their work, Dance for the Cure has surpassed $1 million in assistance distributed, easing the burdens faced by families during their fight against breast cancer. And whereas this October, Bridgewater resident Brooke Herbst, together with the Bridgewater Raritan High School cheer team, joined the Ribbons of Hope initiative, placing pink ribbons around the Bridgewater Municipal Complex. And whereas these ribbons shine as visible reminders of resilience of our community's unwavering support for patients and survivors, and of remembrance for those who we have lost. Now, therefore, thank you. Matthew C. Mensch of Bridgewater Township, along with members of the Township Council, do hereby proclaim October, I told you it was going to get bad, October 2025 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Bridgewater Township. We call on all residents to support Dance for the Cure and other critical organizations to care for survivors and to stand together in hope for a future without breast cancer. We further recognize and commend the dedicated efforts of Brooke Herbst and the Bridgewater Raritan High School cheer team for their inspiring leadership in raising awareness through the community. Thank you. Now, would you say a few words, please?
Hi, I'm Brooke Herbst, and I'm actually a 12-year cancer survivor. I'm here with the co-chairs of Dance for the Cure organization, and I'm going to have them say a few words in a few minutes, as well as the cheer representation from Bridgewater Raritan High School. The 4 girls that are with us are all seniors, and we also have other volunteers from the organization that are a major part of our annual fundraiser that create the baskets that are just absolutely amazing, and Jeannie Casati, who is also the cheer coach for the girls. So I'm going to have Kathleen or Joanne Cirioli, Joanne Liskovitz, the co-chairs for Dance for the Cure.
Thank you. Bridgewater has been wonderful to us, and Howard, he makes me want to cry every year. I am co-founder. I'm a 3-time cancer survivor, one of them being breast cancer. And I've never been so emotional. Yeah. Thank you so much. We just appreciate being a part of this proclamation. We have raised over $1.3 million and donated to women in the area that are going through financial need while they have a breast cancer diagnosis. And I feel very grateful to still be here and be a part of this. So thank you very much.
So just a little bit about our big event that will be held in Bridgewater at the Bridgewater Marriott. This will be our 19th Ribbons of Hope event, and it will be attended by over 500 people. We sold out at the end of July, so we've become known as, a special event. People support us. It's a night of celebrating. It's a night of remembering and having lots of fun and raising money. And we appreciate, Brooke is one of our most tireless volunteers of all time. We call her our Energizer Bunny. She has a broken toe. She gave a kidney a couple years ago. I mean, really, she is just amazing, and she still wants to do more and more every year. And so that's how Dance for the Cure has become known throughout central New Jersey. We have expanded to helping patients also in Mercer County as well. So that was just an update on our info. But we have Judy Craven, who is a Bridgewater resident, who's been with us since the very, very beginning when we started in 1999. That was the year after Kathleen was diagnosed with breast cancer. Lisa Scalera. We have amazing support, and it's a very, very special camaraderie, friendship that has grown as a result of our organization, which makes it even more special. So thank you for this honor. We appreciate it.
Anyone else wishing to say a few words? Okay, thank you. Could we have a big round of applause? Climb down, folks.
I don't want to get in his way.
I read that at home, I do fine, but not so much here. Thank you. Mr. Pappas.
Thank you. A couple of things. I know, Mr. Norgalis, you did mention that on the agenda are several closeouts, some of the road programs. Overall, as you said, there were increases and decreases, but overall, it's approximately a $200,000 overall decrease, and we certainly appreciate our engineering staff and the contractors who've been very diligent with the funds that the council provides for road programs. The other item I wanted to mention, I did forward to the council last week, and Mr. Pandos forwarded an update today. Each year, the Department of Community Affairs has a best practices inventory that municipalities are required to submit. This year's is no different, other than the score that we are able to achieve increased from last year slightly. Last year it was 38, I believe, or 39, and it went to 40.5 this year. The council is always very diligent about reading documents that we provide, and we found, or Mr. Norgalis and Mr. Cardilla at least found a couple of points that were questions that Mr. Pandos and I reviewed, and he made some revisions and sent a memo that clarifies that. Copies certainly are available, and what's important about this inventory is if a municipality doesn't submit or scores a lower score, then state aid is not available. But the minimum score is 32, and we were, like I said, hovering just over 40 points. So there's no council action that's specifically required, but this is something that we need to present and have done so here. So if you have any questions or comments.
Anything else for the mayor's report?
I have a comment on the
Okay.
best practices report, and I apologize, I don't know if this is one of the things that was covered. I've not reviewed today's memo yet, but I noticed one of the items you can earn points for is a resolution allowing first responders to receive tuition credit at RVCC. I know that is something that our community has taken advantage of probably for 20 years or more, but I noticed we didn't get credit for it. So I actually looked I couldn't find a reference in E-code, so I'm not sure if that's a gap we need to address.
Yeah, I think it is. I think Mr. Cardilla mentioned that as well, and I know that there are instances where an emergency responder presents a form that either the mayor or I would sign, which I've done numerous times on his behalf.
Well, it's been going on well before this administration.
We're going to see if we can
Clean that one
update
up?
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else?
The only other thing, if I can, is we weren't able to add it to the agenda, but have a brief presentation from representatives of an organization that the council approved funding for last year. And I see a couple of them here in the audience. If they could come forward. The organization is referred to as Community in Connection, and they have been very busy in helping residents of Bridgewater. And I know the gentleman with the blue shirt is Mr. Michael Mannion, and unfortunately I can't remember the gentleman in the purple shirt's name, but I know you've been here and would appreciate if you folks would introduce yourselves and give a brief update to the council.
So my name is Ken Musgrove. I'm the Director of Recovery Support for Community in Connection. We are Somerset County's Community Peer Recovery Center, and tonight we're here representing the Community Recovery Champion Program that's led by Mike Mannion.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Mannion. I'm the Community Recovery Champion for Bridgewater Township through CIC for Prevention and Recovery, and a lifelong resident of Bridgewater. Most importantly, I am a person in sustained recovery and a certified peer recovery specialist, which means that I use my lived experience to walk with others, alongside others who are struggling with substance use, and connect them to resources, treatment, and hope. As a community recovery champion, I'm an advocate for recovery in the community, specifically working with our townships and municipalities to build awareness, break stigma, and connect people to help. The Community Recovery Champion Program is designed to meet people where they're at and connect them with resources that they need. This program offers, but is not limited to, one-on-one peer support for individuals struggling with substance use, recovery education and community workshops, navigation to treatment and recovery resources, free Narcan and harm reduction supplies, Narcan trainings, expungement assistance, and most importantly, a voice and a face to advocate for recovery in our community. Our goal is to show the community recovery, or our goal is to show the community that recovery is not only possible, but it is probable if you have someone that can walk alongside you along your recovery journey. Since the start of this year, the Bridgewater CRC program has grown tremendously and has made a meaningful impact on several people. From January through September, we participated in 9 community events, including the 4-H Fair and Overdose Awareness Night. We've attended several community meetings, including the Somerset County Overdose Task Force and Bridgewater Municipal Alliance meeting regularly. We've hosted or supported 6 outreach events, engaging residents and connecting people to services. We've led 4 trainings at the Bridgewater Library, and maybe most importantly, distributed 327 Narcan kits and 87 fentanyl test strips to the community, reaching over 1,160 community members through these combined efforts. We've worked hard to build relationships in Bridgewater. Over the past 6 months, we've visited and distributed educational material and harm reduction supplies to over 60 local businesses and organizations. And we continue to collaborate closely with the Bridgewater Police Department, the Municipal Alliance, and the Bridgewater REACH program to expand our recovery support across the township. And Bridgewater is the first municipality in Somerset County to implement a program where a peer recovery specialist meets individuals directly in municipal court, offering real-time support, resources, and a chance to change things before they escalate further. Actually a couple weeks ago, Bridgewater Township participated in the nationwide Save a Life Day, which is a harm reduction initiative where we distributed 550 naloxone kits over Somerset County, and I personally handed out 31 Narcan kits at the Bridgewater Food Bank. And through our consistent presence at the food bank, the library, community affairs, and municipal court, we've seen real results. Individuals who met us at tabling events have gone into enter treatment programs. Local businesses are stocking Narcan and harm reduction supplies. And residents who we've connected through social media have reached out for peer support. As we move forward, our priorities for Bridgewater are strengthening partnerships with Bridgewater REACH, law enforcement, and the Municipal Alliance, expanding digital and social media outreach, enhancing municipal court engagements, and helping additional Somerset County towns implement the Community Recovery Champion Program. Recovery is possible. And more than that, it is possible when you have someone to walk alongside you. I want to thank the Bridgewater Township Council to your continued support and partnership. And what we're building here matters, and we're changing lives every day. And together we're showing that connection and community matters and that every story deserves to be heard. So thank you.
Any questions, comments, please?
I just want to say that Mike and Ken have been very helpful, as they said, interacting with our municipal court, more recently in our police department. The council did fund this through a opioid settlement class action suit where the township had applied and has received significant funding, and this was an ideal place for the council to provide funding that, as you can hear, is making a significant impact for people in Bridgewater.
Gentlemen,
Thank you, gentlemen, for the work.
The work that you do.
Work is
Thank you.
vital, so vital. And like breast cancer, opioids touch every family. And you're helping to make it better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving now to item number 9, which is meeting open to the public. Members of the public wishing to address the council on any matter will be allowed 3 minutes to speak unless there are unusual circumstances. May I have a motion to open to the public, please?
Make the motion.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're open to the public. Please come up, sign your name on the paper, and give us your name and address.
There's no signy namey thingy. Jen Lochran, I'm in Bridgewater. I actually have some thoughts about e-bikes, and also I'm going to talk about Skate for the Paws. But I just wanted to acknowledge the Recovery Program Champion and the opioid funds that were used, and how important it is for smaller organizations to have access to funds like that. And I thank them for what they do. So, Council, yeah, I've seen what you've been seeing with e-bikes and in the Facebook mom groups. And we've got this generation of menaces to society out there, you know, kids in the streets, mostly boys. They're doing dumb and dangerous things. And like I honked at one doing a wheelie and he gave me the finger. The audacity, you know, kids today out there in their own towns, in the reckless pursuit of fun. But on the serious note, you know, loss of life with young people is just horrifying for anybody. especially those of us who have experienced it. But I feel like this call to ban e-bikes, which is not what we're doing here, but what we're seeing in places like Union County, and even when you look at the bike, scooter, roller skating, and skateboarding regulations and laws in Somerville that prevent almost all wheeled activity for kids in that town, and they took our skate park. I think like it's very similar to what happened with skateboarding, right? Like we're at this crux. If we overreact in policy and prevent access to kids to have a form of transportation, we run the risk that kids won't have access to it. And I just came back on a red eye from California, and you go out there and everybody's riding something. And that's not how we live here. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to ride to the mall, we would ride to Somerville, but kids just started doing that again just recently because of access to e-bikes. So, what's really funny about this is where they're enacting the policies are actually in the most democratic towns. But I would like this council to take a walk down Liberal Lane with me for a minute. When we think about how we deal with these problems, and I appreciate the police and the notification that they put out, because parents aren't aware that there are 3 classes of bikes. But when it comes to things like this, I would like to see a movement in our government where we're not talking about the enforcement, but we're talking about how we thoughtfully design our communities so that kids have access to be able to ride their bikes to places, perhaps to Camp Cromwell from another part of town. And when you talk about the bridge that's being redone, or you talk about another development project in the future, perhaps there's an opportunity to create a pathway where kids can transport themselves, and not just kids, if we're being honest. So yeah, I appreciate you guys bringing up the issue, because I feel very strongly about safety, and at the same time I feel very strongly about especially young men having access to those kinds of activities that challenge them to be brave. So on that note, I did want to thank Bridgewater, and also invite you this Sunday, October 12th, to Skate for the Paws. It's a skateboarding event that we host right here in the municipal building, and we fundraise and donate all of the funds to the Somerset County Regional Animal Shelter. And this year is kind of special. School of Rock will be performing. Gabriel's Fountain always sponsors, but we have a local band with this strong 90s punk rock vibe, and they're going to be filming their very first music video. They're like kids. They're like 20 something, but kids to us. But it's very exciting. They're gonna film a music video performing at Skate for the Paws. So I want to thank you all for always supporting us on that endeavor, and build a skate park.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
input. Next person up, please.
Good evening, everyone. Anders Troyan, Stangl Road, Martinsville. I actually just wanted to respond to
Lift the
previous-
microphone up a little bit so
I'm
so
sorry.
we can hear you better.
That
Thank you.
Is that better?
That's better. Thank you.
Anders Troyan, Stangl Road, Martinsville. I just wanted to respond to the previous speaker as well as bring up the topic that I wanted to discuss. I think actually I see it differently. I saw the grid in the newsletter, and it was informative, and I appreciated Councilman Ringing bringing it up. What I see this as a public safety awareness opportunity, that perhaps liaisoning with the Board of Ed, with the SROs in the schools, it can be an opportunity to raise awareness about the safety aspects directly to the students and probably the demographic that's affected most by this issue. It's still the beginning of the school year. It can be really used as we care about everybody, we don't want anybody to get hurt, and here are the guidelines that we're instituting to be sure that that happens. So I look at it a little differently, that it's an opportunity to raise everyone's awareness not just those who read the newsletter or listen to this, but perhaps to that demographic specifically. The issue that I wanted to bring up, though, concerns the finances, specifically the financial audit for 2024. If I'm reading the statute correctly, it should have been done by now, by June 30th, by the auditors that we hire. And over the last 7 years, it generally shows up to the council, and therefore the public, July or August. That has not taken place. The only time that didn't happen was a couple of years ago when there were significant findings and a corrective action plan had to be filed with the state. So I'm concerned that the Township Council has not received this and the administration has not shared this, and therefore it's not public with the constituents as well. So I'm searching for an update if one is available.
Mr. Pappas is prepared to address that.
Yes, the auditor had finalizing the draft, and we hope to get it soon.
I'm sorry, so there's a draft of the audit available,
He's finalizing the draft.
but it was supposed to be done by June 30th.
Understand?
Was an extension requested as per the statute?
I am not sure.
Well, if it's going to, the statute states, if it's not going to be done by June 30th, that the director of the Division of Local Government Services must be requested to provide an extension and a reason provided. So you're saying that the auditor only has a draft at this point at the top of October?
That's what I said, ma'am, and I'm not sure if the auditor or the CFO submitted a request for an extension. I know that
The governing body
unfortunate,
must
if
do
I can
that,
finish,
not the auditor. The governing body must submit
if I can
that.
finish, I am not sure if that took place, but I can certainly find out and report back to the council. This is not necessarily unusual for a municipality to have an audit delayed in being finalized by an auditor. There are numerous reasons that can occur that prompt this, but I can assure you that the audit firm is finalizing the draft. That's the only report I can give.
I would urge the administration to abide by the statute, and perhaps the purpose of a financial audit isn't really readily available to you, but not only does it inform and cross-check and validate the ending balances and the fund balances from that fiscal year, which you need in order to make sure this year's budget is okay, and the preparation of next year's budget, which I hope is underway, is proper. But it also points out, obviously, the internal control and procedure adherence and any recommendations. If it's October of the following year, and the public doesn't know those findings, and the council doesn't know the findings, then it really pretty much makes the purpose of the audit moot. And so you can hopefully understand my concern that it's not just a checkoff on the list or best practices inventory. It really does inform the financial function of the administration, and it's disappointing to hear that you're awaiting a draft at this point. Thank you very much.
Next person wishing to address the council, please.
Mr. President, if I could just comment, the
Yes, sir.
administration is very much aware of the expectations and the requirements to ensure that the township provides proper reports and provide both to the governing body and to the Department of Community Affairs. As I said, a delay in finalizing a draft occurs for a variety of reasons, and it should not be assumed that there is any particular reason other than that.
That gave me time to sign. That was good. Jane Gandolf, representing 2000 Washington Valley Road, Martinsville, representing Friends of Bridgewater.
And can you get a little closer to the microphone, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
I want to remind everyone that this weekend is a journey through the past. So the house that Bridgewater Township owns at 551 Milltown Road will be open with a display, and we have a demonstration. We have some children's games from colonial times, and we have information about the history of the house. I also want to re-extend an invitation to visit the Yaley House. If you're interested, feel free to contact me. That's it. Thanks.
Jane, would you leave the card, please? Thank you.
What date is Journey of the Past, through the Past? What time?
Would you distribute, make a copy for everybody, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next person wishing to address the council, please.
My name is Daniel Zielinski. I live at 715 Chimney Rock Road. I'm here tonight to talk about the pilot, which was passed a few weeks ago. The more I learn about pilots, and this pilot in particular, the worse it looks. The mayor claimed that this deal is the result of hard negotiations and represents the very best deal that Bridgewater could get. Yet no evidence has been presented to support this claim. And let's state some facts at this point. The state law puts limits on pilots. One limit states the best deal a developer can get is to pay 10% of gross rents, and your deal gives them this. The state also limits the most time a developer can get tax discounts at 30 years, and your deal gives them this too. The lowest initial percentage of rents and for the longest period of time allowed, resulting in a tax discount of over 50%. And I don't think anybody would call that hard negotiations. This administration chose to act on that pilot without allowing residents time to digest the agreement and the associated financials. When the integrity of the numbers was brought into question, Mr. Kirsch simply asked the mayor if he was confident with the financials in the pilot. And the mayor stated that he relied on the analysis of his consultants and Excel formulas. Mr. Kirsch needed no additional analysis and chose, along with the rest of the council, to approve the pilot. Not how I would define due diligence. Mr. Kirsch's argument that a discount of 50% or over $100 million represents the best alternative is offered without any real evidence. There are plenty of buildings being built without pilots. Just because a property is eligible for a pilot does not mean that one must be granted. For example, the lab on Milltown Road is being constructed without a pilot. It is true that the property right next to this one has inquired or applied for a permit to construct an additional building, and I believe also without a pilot. A pilot gives up over $100 million, real dollars. I believe residents deserve real consideration when decisions based on relevant, deserve real consideration with decisions based on relevant and real facts, especially when deals are being signed that impact residents for 30 years. This is not what you delivered when you voted to approve this pilot.
Thank you. I've just understood recently that you wear several hats. You're also the chair of the Bridgewater Democratic Chair, and I applaud your activities there. Ms. Franco, good afternoon.
Good evening. Kathy Franco. I live at Block 816, Lot 10.02. Let me start by saying thank you for Dance for the Cure for everything they do for our individuals who have been diagnosed with cancer to help them in their recovery. To follow up on what Mr. Troyan talked about, the audit, I've been bringing this up for months. And I, too, am very disappointed that we don't have an audit. I'm surprised that as town council persons, that you're not questioning where the heck is the audit. The fiscal year ended December 31st. We are now, October 6th. I'm sorry, there's no excuse. And if you're not even aware whether or not you filed an extension, that's just beyond my scope of understanding. As far as the annual financial statements report on the website, I would ask that you look at the 2024 and 2025, what's listed on the website currently as the annual financial statement reports, because they're not that. They don't even come close, and they make no sense whatsoever. So please go to the website tonight, look at them, and find out why it is that we're posting information that makes absolutely no sense. Following up on the pilot, I filed a OPRA request on September 21st, requesting information regarding the pilot on the, I don't care what we call it today, Petersbrook, I guess it's called in the current language, formerly known as Center for Excellence, formerly known as Sanofi, formerly known as Block and Lot number 17, 18, 19, whatever you want to call it. I was notified on September 24th that I will not have that information until October 15th, the information I requested. Yet, when the pilot was discussed by this board, Mayor Mensch talked about the fact that, he based his decision, and board members apparently based their decision on information that they had available. So let me tell you what I was asking for. I was asking for correspondence between AOR Bridgewater, Urban Renewal LLC, and its agents with the township regarding taxation, special assessments, and payments in lieu of taxes from January of 2024 to the present. Records of negotiations between the township and its agent and that organization, which resulted in agreement for payments in lieu of taxes and special payments as referenced by the mayor during the September 4th council meeting. I was requesting dates, minutes, reports, and attendee names and negotiation sessions. Absent these, provide any records of the negotiations. During the September 4th council meeting, the mayor stated his reliance upon numbers and analysis from our financial consultants and advisors. So I was requesting the names of the financial advisors referred to by the mayor, a copy of the analysis and numbers referred to, and the billing statements for the period of January of 2023 to the present for NW Financial Group LLC, Carlin Ward Ash and Herritt LLC, McManaman, Scotland and Bauman LLC, as well as any reports and analysis and tax assessments, special assessments, and payments in lieu of taxes issued by NW Financial Group, Carlin Ward Ash and Herritt LLC, and McMahon, Scotland, and Bauman. So if you as a council made your decision and did your due diligence, I would expect all of that information to have been readily available to you, and therefore readily available to me, and that I would not have to wait an additional 9 days, well beyond the required OPRA amount. Thank you for your time this evening.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
I'd just make one comment. Ms. Franco made a statement about the official financial statement that she references as, I guess, she wasn't able to absorb it. I don't remember.
Not absorb, not.
If I can just finish. If I can finish, please. All right, I don't remember exact wording, but I just wanted to point out that the annual financial statement is a document that has to be submitted to the state, and the state has to review it and approve it and accept it before the council could consider and approve the budget. So to suggest that it is not in proper form is not correct.
Well, so what's on the website right now? Did you look at what's on your current website for the 2024?
No, I didn't
Annual-
look at it, but
so I would suggest you do that before you
I
head-
directed that the official financial statement be posted, and that
And it
was...
should have been
and that
posted
was
no later than February
verified-
28th, I
and that was
believe.
verified by our auditor. So
No,
the document that was put on the website is the document that had been submitted to the state.
I would challenge you to actually take the time to call up your website, because I can do it right now, and I can show you how it is not what you're claiming it is. So if you go to Township of Bridgewater, if you go to government, if you go to finance, if you go to finance reports, and if I actually have a signal in here,
Mrs. Franco, thank you for your comments. We understand your insight.
and you have the first page of what should be a 47-page document right now. And it should have been available no later than the end of February, from my understanding.
Joan Geiger, 154 Hillside Avenue, Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Did you sign in? Please.
Since you brought the issue up of one of our speakers, one of our public speakers' political affiliation, I thought it would be appropriate for the rest of the town to understand the political affiliations here. We have Mr. Pappas, who is a former Republican councilman. We have Mr. Cadilla, who is a Republican, ran on the Republican ticket as a councilman. I'm sorry, Mr. Pappas, you ran for Congress and served in Congress. Mr. Ring ran on the Republican ticket as a councilman. Mr. Corzini is running on the Republican ticket for surrogate, county surrogate. Mr. Nogales, another, ran on the Republican ticket and is now a councilman. Mr. Kirsch ran on the Republican ticket and is a councilman. And Mr. Pedroso ran on the Republican ticket and is running again together with Mr. Cadilla on the Republican ticket.
Very proud to
Fairness-
be Republican.
And
Thank you.
you're running
Thank
on
you
the
for bringing that up.
Democratic ticket.
I am Joan Geiger, that's correct, and I am running on the Democratic ticket. If I am elected, I will be the first Democrat on the council in 37 years. Perhaps what Mr. Zielinski was pointing out with respect to what has happened with the Center of Excellence, or whatever you want to call it, has something to do with the fact that we have one-party rule in this town. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the council?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
May I just make a comment about something that a previous speaker...
Come on up and sign in.
Speaker mentioned about the pilot. I think I know that Councilman Kirsch had mentioned this, but I think it's worth repeating. There was a statement made, I think Zielinski said that pilot gives up approximately $100 million in, I think he meant tax revenue. That's an assumption that he is making, that the pre-existing property would remain viable and would remain feasible for an operation similar to what had existed there previously. If you drive anywhere in the state, you can see older office complexes or manufacturing facilities that are outdated and that are abandoned for other facilities in other places. And frequently what occurs when a property becomes obsolete, it becomes vacant. And the property owner, if he or she is not able to rent it, seeks a property assessment reduction through a process that goes either through the Board of Taxation or the tax court. And so I think it's not telling the whole story of what could occur if a municipality doesn't consider that. And municipalities are not, in New Jersey, we're not just competing with other states, we're competing with other municipalities in the state of New Jersey that are taking advantage of things such as pilot, which are utilized, at least for Bridgewater, very, very selectively. The other municipalities, Somerville being one, that has used pilots numerous times as compared to what Bridgewater has up until now. And I think it's an important point to make. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Name and address, please.
I'm Mary Robbins. I live at 26 Ash Street, Bridgewater. So our street, Ash Street and Ray Street, I'm on the corner there. And the council fixed our street. Then we came a couple weeks ago, begging and pleading. The culvert was fixed. They totally redid the streets. And we wanted to thank the mayor and the council and Michael Pappas. The Pave Right, the company that did it, the whole neighborhood thinks they did an excellent job. The person who was maybe the project manager or the foreman, we saw him every day walking the streets, making sure it was perfect. They did a great job. And actually, if Jennifer was here, I'd say it's great for skateboarding. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, Kathy, let's see if there's anybody else. Then we'll give you another bite at the apple. Anyone else wishing to address the... All right, Kathy, come on back up.
Thank you for your indulgence. I would just like to respond to Mr. Pappas. When we're talking about Center of Excellence specifically, that property, there was a plan in place. This administration sued the property owners to prevent that plan from going into place. There was not a pilot on that previous plan. So,
Ms. Franco, just to clarify, we did not sue COE. They sued us.
and you sued no, the first lawsuit that went into effect was Matt Mensch. Oh, maybe he was not acting as part of the administration at that time. But he sued the planning board. And then there were lawsuits between COE and this town council. So you know what? All I'm saying is there was a viable project on that property without a pilot in place. And I would hope that if you want to have this discussion, we can do it offline, or we can set up a debate time where I can come and you can come before the public. Because I am limited in my time, and you seem to always get your last 2 cents in, and that is not appropriate for public comment time. So if you have something to say it to me now while I'm still standing here. Otherwise, I would hope that we don't discuss this anymore.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the council? Come on up, sir.
Good evening, Andrew Bucko, 543 Berrywood Lane. I would like to respond, actually follow up to what Ms. Franco had said earlier about the annual financial statements. She might not have signal, but luckily I do. The document that's on the township website linked from the link titled 2024 Annual Financial Statement brings up a one-page document that reads as follows. Important, read instructions. Instructions. The following certification is to be used only in the event there is no municipality-operated utility. If there is a utility operated by the municipality of a, quote, utility fund existed on the books of account, do not sign this statement and do not remove any of the utility sheets from the document. Certification. I hereby certify that there was no, quote, utility fund on the books of account, and there was no utility owned and operated by the Township of Bridgewater, County of Somerset, during the year 2024, and that sheets 40 to 68 are unnecessary. I have therefore removed from this statement the sheets pertaining only to utilities. Name, title, unsigned. This must be signed by the Chief Financial Officer, Comptroller, Auditor, or Registered Municipal Accountant. Then there is a page separation, but it is on the same page. Municipal certification of taxable property as of October 1st, 2024. Certification is hereby made that the net valuation taxable of property liable to taxation for the year 2025 and filed with the County Board of Taxation on January 10th, 2025, in accordance with the requirements of NJSA Chapter 54, 4 through 35, was in the amount of $11,445,942,200.00, signature of tax assessor, it's the email address, Township of Bridgewater, Somerset County. Sheet 2, and that is it. That is clearly not a financial statement. So, Township Administrator Pappas, I would recommend that you look at the website that purports to have the documents that are required to be presented to the public and actually review it. And perhaps next time you should take comments from the public and actually investigate them before you reflexively blame them for what your office clearly did not do properly. Thank you very much.
Anyone else wishing to address the council?
Good evening. My name is Kevin Hoppel. I'm a 37-year resident of Bridgewater, and I'd like to address what I consider to be gross overdevelopment, which is potentially going to take place in this town. Of course, first of all, is the Sanofi property, and correct me if I'm wrong. Will that include 400 luxury apartments, a hotel, supermarket, fitness center, boutique, restaurants, and other retail spaces?
No.
Where am I wrong?
400 apartments, supermarket, hotel, retail.
That was the original.
That was the original proposal back in 2018.
Okay. And where does it stand at this point in
It
time?
is a combination of R&D facilities and industrial flex space, and I believe it's one small, Councilman Kirsch, one small retail strip?
One small retail area.
Yes.
One small retailer?
Yes, like 3 or 4 stores.
Okay. So in actual size, how much of a reduction percentage-wise would you say that is?
Do not have the numbers off the top of my head.
Okay.
But the original plan, as espoused by a former mayor, was massive. It originally started at 550 homes, a bank, a hotel with over 100 rooms, and a fairly significant strip mall.
And supermarket.
Yeah, and a ShopRite, an 80,000 square foot ShopRite. So this has been trimmed down very, very substantially. And in fact, members of this, the serving mayor ran on a platform of opposition to that program very successfully. And you've seen that being sliced and diced down to what it is right now. Now, I don't think we can give you this precise number, but whatever number you were looking at was from years ago and is certainly not the case now.
Okay. I want to go to the next topic, which would be what I consider to be an aesthetically, I won't use the term hideous, but an aesthetic eyesore. The proposal for the 120,000 square foot storage facility, which would extend from the old Tectonic office building on Route 22 down to Mellick's Farm Stand on Route 28. Is that still?
That is correct.
That's an application before the zoning board.
And I will just caution you that when something is before the zoning board, that there's potential for appeal to this governing body. So
We don't discuss it.
We can't get into the discussion of applications that are pending. Anybody that owns land has the right to submit an application. That does not mean it's going to be rubber stamped and approved. But anybody has the right to submit an application.
Okay, so you're saying that that is
It's before the zoning board.
at this point in time?
Yes.
Okay,
So if you have concerns about it, I would recommend going and speaking to the zoning board.
okay.
Well, and I can actually offer one other suggestion. We do have 2 township newsletters. One is what I'll just simply call broad-based information. The other is land use specific. And by signing up for one or both of those, particularly the one on land use, you will be notified of every agenda for planning board and zoning board. So when that application is heard, you would be specifically notified for it.
Okay. What is the status of the Ethicon parcel, the 83-acre parcel which was purchased by A. Dewey Pyle?
It's been purchased, and I believe it's in litigation.
In litigation, in what regard?
Between the
litigation, we can't discuss it.
Okay. So if that actually does come to fruition, A. Dewey Pyle is a major trucking and logistics firm within the United States. They have locations in Maine, Indiana, Virginia, West Virginia, South Carolina, with extended coverage throughout the Southeast. So if that actually does come to pass, are we looking at a full-blown warehouse and
Just heard it's in
trucking terminal?
litigation, we cannot discuss.
And we do not have any applications
That
on
piece of
it.
property was purchased by A. Dewey Pyle, independent of any activity on this township. Anybody who has the money can go buy anything else that somebody has for sale. But once they have acquired the property, they have to abide by our regulations and go to our boards for approval, and that's where it stands.
And is it
So there's
still owned by
nothing
A.
else.
Dewey Pyle? Can you
There's
tell me that?
nothing else we can or can tell you about that issue.
Okay. And there's also, I'm just going from what I just recently uncovered, well, I won't say uncovered, but was made aware of, a data center, a data research center between Adamsville Road and Woodside Lane. Is that, am I accurate on that?
There is no formal application that the township has designated that property as an area in need of redevelopment, and there's a redevelopment plan that permits a couple of uses, data center being one, or senior housing would be another, but no specific plan has been presented yet.
Okay. And finally, the issue of low-income housing. I heard that there may be a development near the Time to Eat diner serving that purpose. Is that accurate, or is that?
There's multiple locations throughout the township.
Mhm.
We were obligated by the state to identify over the next 10 years a little over 400 new affordable housing units.
Mhm.
Not our choice, we're required by the state.
Understood,
So
understood.
there's multiple locations throughout the town.
Part of the state's process of allocating over 8,000 units across each township, well, not every township.
I understand
got
it's
an allocation,
mandated, yeah.
But we were originally charged with 474, I believe, and after due consideration, they had houses being placed in the median of 22 and one in the reservoir on Chimney Rock Road. Our current agreed-to commitment is 421, and we are working to abide by that requirement, not because we want to.
I understand.
But we have to.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ridwana Isla, 32 Timberline Drive. And since we were doing introductions, I'm also running for the Democratic ticket as Township Council candidate, along with Joan Geiger and Andrew Bucko, who both spoke. We're also running against the mayor's sister, Megan Mensch. So just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you.
I wanted to also respond to the trucking depot concerns in the previous Ethicon facility. I don't know if anyone knows the company, but they currently have a facility in Cataract, New Jersey, that sees over 200 trucks going in and out during rush hour traffic in a much smaller facility than the big, huge Ethicon facility we have. So imagine 200 trucks in Bridgewater by the high school as you're going to work, as you're dropping off your kids at school. This is not the Bridgewater quality of life we signed up for when we moved here. It's been 37 years that a Democrat has been elected onto the Township Council, but if I win, it'll be the first time a colored woman would also be elected. And I definitely do not want the quality of life here to have over 200 trucks go in and out by the high school where our children are attending. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the council? Motion to close public input.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr.
All
President.
right, we are closed for the public.
Mr. President?
Sir.
Just want to point out that Mr. Bucko at one point at a council meeting here advocated for affordable housing to be constructed on the former Ethicon site.
Okay.
Mr.
All right, now,
Council President, I just have a brief comment. Mr. Zelinski made a comment that we all supported the pilot. However, I wasn't here to vote, and so technically, I didn't vote on that project. However, I do want to make it clear that had I been here to vote, I would have supported the pilot. Mr. Zelinski is the chairman of the Bridgewater Democratic Committee, so I presume his comments and somehow represent that party's standing. But I can tell Bridgewater residents to be assured that the pilot is smart for Bridgewater. The pilot is good for Bridgewater. When the pilot takes place, that money, that tax money that's been quoted back and forth, whatever that number is, that money goes 100% back to the Bridgewater taxpayer. We don't have to share that money with the many other groups that would get that tax money. So if you don't do a pilot, the tax money is split between the county and the Board of Education and all these other things, right? If we do a pilot, Bridgewater controls where that tax money goes. So that money comes back to the Bridgewater taxpayer. The pilot is good for the Bridgewater taxpayer. Anyone that says otherwise either doesn't get it or they're trying to put political spin on a topic that is good for the Bridgewater taxpayer.
Okay.
I want that to be very clear.
Thank you, Mr. Peroso. Learned Counsel has a comment on 10A and 10B.
Certainly, Council President. With 10A and 10B, we'll be looking for motions tonight to carry these to a date certain, the next council meeting, which is, Grace, you will tell me, I clicked off my calendar, it is a week from Thursday.
Yes.
16th.
16th. These two matters will be carried to the 16th. The public hearing and final action will take place in this room at the same time. No further notice will be required, and the matters will be both carried to a date certain, which is 16th.
You need a motion?
Yeah,
I need a motion for both of them separately.
I'll move the
Second.
10A and 10B.
So just 10A, let's do, we have to do one at a time, so 10.
10A.
Right.
Second.
Oh, okay. 10A. Motion.
And I second it.
All those in favor of moving 10A to the next meeting?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
10B. 10B.
10B.
10B, I'll move to carry to the, yep.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
All those in favor of carrying 10B to the next meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Council President, you can move on to item 12.
Item 12.
Resolutions.
Yes. Moving to 12, resolutions. I'm going to use consent for a number of these. They're road jobs. 12, I will read them all. 12A, 12B, 12C, 12D, 12E, and 12F. Okay, reading as follows. 12A, authorizing the award of contracts to Pave Right Incorporated, 40 Rydell Avenue, Bridgewater, New Jersey, 08807, for the total amount not to exceed $48,250 for the Hemlock Drive Outlet Road repairs via the Somerset County Open-Ended Cooperative Pricing System, contract number CC-0028-24, to be funded through the 2024 Road Improvement Program, Road Improvement Capital Fund. 12B, authorizing change order number 1 and final, change order increasing the contract price from $1,240,166.31 to $1,247,146.49, an increase of 0.56% or $6,980.18. authorizing acceptance of the project, release of the performance bond, and final payment to ADG Contracting Corp. Trading as Crossroads Paving, 386 South Street, Suite 169, Newark, New Jersey, 07105, for the 2021-8 roadway improvement project, which includes the entire lengths of Sherlin Drive, Cornell Road, and Southbrook Drive, and a portion of Fairfield Road, funded through the 2024 Road Improvement Capital Fund. C, authorizing a change order number 1 and final, change order increasing the contract price from $632,695.60 to $641,017.92, an increase of 1.32%, or $8,322.32. Authorizing acceptance of the project, release of the performance bond, and final payment to ADG Contracting Corporation Trading as Crossroads Paving, 386 South Street, Suite 169, Newark, New Jersey, 07105, for the 2022 roadway preparation project, which includes the entire length of Bellicone Street, Buxton Road, Central Avenue, Charles Street, Cheshire Road, Cole Street, Croydon Road, Fairmont Avenue, Rector Road, Sherwood Road, Thomas Street, Timber Lane, and a portion of Blossom Drive, funded through the 2024 Road Improvement Capital Fund. D, authorizing change order number 2, final change order increasing the amended contract price from $1,177,439.91 to $1,220,093.98, an overall increase of $42,654.17, authorizing acceptance of the project, release of the performance bond, acceptance of the maintenance bond, the final payment to ADG Contracting Corporation, trading as Crossroads Paving, 386 South Street, Suite 169, Newark, New Jersey, 07105, for the Stony Brook Drive Improvement Project, Sections 1 and 2, and the pedestrian pathway, which includes the entire length of Stony Brook Drive, funded through the 2023 Road Improvement Capital Fund. E, authorizing change order number 1 and final, change order decreases the contract price from $1,263,133.80 to $1,043,571.58, a decrease of 17.38%, or $219,562.23. Authorizing acceptance of the project, release of the performance bond, acceptance of the maintenance bond, and final payment to ADG Contracting Corporation Trading as Crossroads Paving, 386 South Street, Suite 169, Newark, New Jersey, 07105, for the 2023-3 roadway improvement project, which includes the entire lengths of Carling Drive, Floral Drive, Farmer Road, Julio Court, North Branch Road, and Juniper Lane, Country Club Road to North Branch, funded through the 2023 Capital Fund. F, authorizing change order number 1 and final, change order decreasing the contract price from $399,158.58 to $393,405.08, a decrease of 1.44%, or $5,753.50, authorizing acceptance of the project, release of the performance bond, acceptance of the maintenance bond, and final payment to Top Line Construction Corporation, 22 Fifth Street, Somerville, New Jersey, 08876, for the 2024-6 roadway improvement project, which includes the entire length of Perrine Road, Davis Court, Biddle Court, and Weaver Drive, funded through the 2024 Capital Road Fund.
I'll move
You're not gonna
12A
ask
through
me
F
again?
on consent.
Okay. Could I have a second on that? I'll second it. Is there any discussion on those items? If not, a roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Pedrosa?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. G is a project resolution for preliminary engineering services for the Adamsville School pedestrian safety project to Greenman Peterson Incorporated, 520 U.S. Highway 22, Suite 200, Bridgewater, New Jersey, 08807, in the amount of $337,821.40, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Improvement Bond and as part of an NJDOT Safe Routes to School grant for the funding year 2022, which amount is reimbursable total through the DOT Associated Design Assistance Program.
So moved.
Second, please.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Pedroso?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. Okay, we have completed all the regular work. We are now going to go to closed session. There will be no formal action after the closed session. The public can stick around, but there'll be no action.
Council President, as discussed prior to the meeting, we will be amending this resolution to include the matter of Fleischer versus Bridgewater Township.
Okay, so noted. Be it resolved by the Bridgewater Township Council that this body will now convene on a closed session to discuss the following: public safety, SPA ordinance, litigation, Warren Township, and affordable housing, contract negotiation, affordable housing, and how would you like the next piece to?
Fleischer versus Bridgewater Township.
Fleischer, okay. When and if matters discussed become public, the information will be available to the public at the appropriate time. The public is excluded from said meeting, and further notice is hereby dispensed with all in accordance with Sections 8 and 4A of the Open Public Meetings Act. Could I have a motion, please, to go to closed session?
Make the motion.
Second, please.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are in closed session. Thank you very much. The public must vacate. The door will be closed. At this point is to adjourn. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second, all those in favor of adjournment, please signify
Aye.
by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.